no-fly zones in Ukraine.
Okay.
I was talking to people at Ward Carroll, amongst other people, about this. They're a bunch of ex-US Air Force pilots who reminisce about landing on the Nimitz at night and stuff. Anyway, they were saying that basically a no-fly zone, to actually implement it, would require bombing vast numbers of target actually inside Russia first, before you could even put the no-fly zone in place. So what you'd be looking at, the people who are calling for no-fly zone, would be like a massive attack on Russia before you even actually got the no-fly zone. I don't know whether you remember, we actually bombed Iraq, a much smaller country, for 42 days.
Yep.
To get air supremacy.
Yep.
So the idea of these no-fly zones is absolutely crazy. Not only that, you have to have what's called aircraft on station to enforce it, which requires in-air refueling, and those operations are super vulnerable from a long way away because you've got big aircraft, tankers flying very slow and high, and they're going to be shot at from with missiles that could be in some cases hundreds of kilometers inside Russia itself.
Yeah, I got to tell
you,
way. Like I don't know I don't know what the conversation is in the UK about this, but it seems to be in this country, the idea of a no-fly zone is dead on arrival. Nobody seems to be entertaining this in a serious fashion here. Occasionally, you'll see somebody on Twitter say it.
But that's a good thing, because basically the impression I was getting from over here was it was getting pushed in America quite a lot.
I think there are people who bring it up, but I have a feeling it's more as a way of trying to encourage more weapons sales and to provide more space for more aggressive weapons support to Ukraine.
I mean, I was hearing Christian
what they seem to be doing.
Omniport debating it a few weeks ago on CNN. I was hearing some of that stuff in terms of our elected officials. Even if I'm vaguely remembering some Republican politicians discussing it, but it was more if they were in power, I don't know if they would be serious about it. It's just more of a way to like attack Biden for not being sufficiently.
Well, it's good to hear that. You know what I mean? Because I mean, in Europe, right? There's a lot more sort of cautious attitude about what we do, because they're trying to finesse this war. They're trying to sort of put in just enough weapons to stop the Russians rolling over Ukraine, but not too much to sort of trigger some sort of overreaction from the sort of Kremlin's end. And the trouble with that is, from my problem is it'll drag the war on, and the thing that's really going to do the damage is the sanctions war itself is actually going to start destabilizing, big areas of the Middle East, other areas of Africa. And those are the places, all of a sudden, you're going to get multiple sort of issues, which people aren't going to connect in their mind with the actual war in Ukraine, just the same way as people didn't connect the Arab Spring with food prices created by stupid biodiesel policy in USA. People putting the joining the dots is not something that's going to happen. But I actually think, and the other problem is I don't think the sanctions are going to work, because it's already the case that both China and India, 2.5 to 3 billion people on the planet, are basically not going to be involved with it. So I think even though that Russia's going to be weakened, I think they're going to be able to sustain this war. I'm like you. I don't know what the hell to do about it. And I don't think anybody else is, and everybody's of two minds about it. We've got to hope that basically Putin changes his mind. That's all I can see at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what ways there could be for off ramps. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but appreciate the call. Good points.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah, thank you, Mididoctors. I think they're the objective of Putin now is just how can we annex the Donbas.
It would appear, and also, I guess, to have a some type of land bridge from Moldova, I guess. I'm reading now. That seems to be part of the idea. Bluezette. Amy Goodman covered an article in Tom Dispatch this morning by Professor McCoy proposing to end the war by withholding 20% of European Gazprom payments and putting that in escrow account to rebuild Ukraine. McCoy figures that would put enough pressure on Putin to convince to pull him out. I don't know. I did not see that piece.